emha befruna marhaba dandawan algon Musa matlub migadiga tibefruna mi badal kolli Maldives Premier Bank iftitah kurumage rasmiyat tibefruna hama genesti mattaka ade Maldives Premier Bank ki divehi rajyege emme fahon operating license dukurevigen mi license ayekko tier ekigga hulugenda commercial bank mi commercial bank ki divehi rajyege nuwawana commercial bank faha kollen ebeje commercial bank hidumatta fechigen dairo mi rasmiyat sharaferigot devuma hama jifamani divehi rajyege raisul jumhuriya Dr. Muhammad Muiz ade mi rasmiyat ge tereng alume agenda ga himene bay kankam balalairo Maldives commercial bank internet portal adi hasako internet banking portal adi mobile application launch kuravigen daane mi de khidma ves iftitah ko devuma hamje famani raisul jumhuriya Dr. Muhammad Muiz mi ge ituru mi rasmiyat ge tereng Maldives commerce mi premier bank mi hama beenumba hen hidmat takku terega me hasako partner na be sandani fila eruma hama jifave mi bank balalairo mi bank ki aam farudunna adi konfunitaka viafaritaka beenumba ekiki banking khidmat for ko dinuma gaim kore fawa bank divehi rajyega kurimis faha kolli gota nuwana bank commercial bank gotuga mi bank gaim korevegen dairo mi bank khiduma feshumattaka miharu bank goippe beswani gaim koreifa egotu bodu takurfanu moga hember sandit bank ge uparatama gofi miharu gaim korevi khuluvi hiduma dem fashafa wairu rasmi ko mirege mi rasmiyata ekko mi bank khiduma feshigen daane mi bank ki divehi rajyega huluvigenda commercial bank toge terega ves faha kollave zamani wasilattaka ekko huluvigenda bank ekkan hasako bank me masak korabba gina farata ki hama beru ge tajriba kharu gina farata ke kan faha kollen je bank masak korabba director unge board ge ves imene farata ki hama beru ge mikamuge tajriba hori farata kan out me faha kollan kuda irukolege terega mi rasmiyat kishmattaka raisul jumhuriya me barcelona sandura badaganda wana me hola badaganda wana badagatuma mi rasmiyat fishigen daane Maldives Premier Bank ki mi aam farduna konfunitaka adi hasako mi biafaritaka besiduma dinuma ham jehi pawa bank ka buma ko mi bank khidmatta hama account adi heduma mi eki bawattoge loan do kurma adi enum bes banking tafahatu khidmatta devigen daane adi mi ge tor bes corporate hasako konfunitaka beenu ba banking eki khidmatta bankum for ko devigen daane kama bankum vidalbe adi mi bank balala ro bank khidmatta itora fula kurmattaka mi bankum wara gina masaketake kurma हम रेफा वाकम बस बैंक वणी फाहा को फखास को बैंक की खिदमत तक इतरा हरदना को ज़मानी वसीलत तक है को मिहार राज्य के कमर्शियल बैंकिंग खिदमत तक मिदे उसूल हम बदल गए बैंकों ज़मानी वसीलत तक है को हास को एमएमए के रेगुलेटरी दशों में कंकंग बेलिगंदाने को बैंक वणी फाहा को मिहा हिसाब और में रस्मियात रईस जमहूरिया में रस्मियात को बड़ा गत माइक को के नंबर तिबफ में हवा को लाना
His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Muiz, the President of the Republic of Maldives.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب صدق الله العظيم
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Gehradjege Izzateri Raisul Jumhuriya Dr. Muhammad Muiz, Izzateri Wazirum, Maldives Monetary Authority ge Izzateri Governor, Deputy Governor, Adi Board Memberum, Maldives Premier Bank ge Founder, Adi Shareholder, Chairperson, Adi Board Memberum, Adi Bank Ithrum Management ge Is Beflum, Sharaferi Partnerum Viafad Daira ge Is Beflum, Adi Dura Gatum Mihaflaga Badwadanwa Immeha Beflum, Maldives Premier Bank Iftitah Kurumge Mi Sharaferi तारीखी हफलायत इम्मेहा बेफुरना लुहन उफलायक मरहबा किया मेरे के मिहास रस्मियात के हुशरम तेरिंगे गुतकाते बेफुरना एक वगुत कोलिंग हेद कोल्लानी अलगुन मरियम वहीदा अदि अलगुन गे को होस्ट शारिह अदि ए अलगुन में नलिबे वरबडू फले किरिते कुरआन गे बरकातुम मी रस्मियात फटवा देवी अल्फाला सारा इब्राहिम जलील मिराकी मोडिस प्रीमियर बैंक के रस्मी फिशमायकु द्विराज्य के बैंकिंग के दायरा अंगन्नाने आ इजादी बदले पाहकुरविगिंदाने मुहिम तारीखी रे मोडिस प्रीमियर बैंकुं मी आ बाब फशनी साबित अजमकायकुगा ए प्रीमियम बैंकिंग ग्लोबल रीच मोडिस प्रीमियर बैंक के नमगा मी मुहिम मुनासबत का अलगुमिनायकु बैर वडाने विकमटका त्या इम्मेहा बेफुर Tiemmeha befurna ihlas terikamayaku warahas shukre dannawang mirege mirasmiyat nimigendani Modis Premier Bank ke mobile application internet banking ge khidme rasmi ko iftitah wege
Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Muiz, President of the Republic of Maldives, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Governor, Deputy Governor, and Board members of Maldives Monetary Authority, Founder, Shareholder, Chairperson, Board members, and Senior Executive Management of Maldives Premier Bank, esteemed partners, business leaders, and distinguished guests joining us from near and far. It is our great pleasure to welcome you to this prestigious and historic inauguration of Maldives Premier Bank. Serving as your hosts for this special evening is a truly immense honor and privilege for both of us. I am Hassan Shahriar Adam, accompanied by my colleague, Ms. Mariam Wahida. Tonight's proceedings commenced with the blessed recitation of Holy Quran by Ms. Sarah Ibrahim Jalil. Tonight marks a significant milestone celebrating the official launch of Maldives Premier Bank and the start of an innovative new chapter in the Maldivian banking and financial sector. Maldives Premier Bank begins this new chapter with a firm commitment: premium banking, global reach. On behalf of Maldives Premier Bank, we express our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us for this landmark occasion. Tonight's ceremony will culminate in the official launch of Maldives Premier Bank mobile application and internet banking portal.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it promises to be a very beautiful evening, and I also would like to tell you it is alive, so our audience is watching as well. Welcome all of you. Adivese faharu algonmenge dawat kabul kraba wadan devi kamataka Modis Premier Bank ke namga tia emmeha befulna algon shukr danawang mirege mi rasmiyata rasmi ko marhaba de nomasha Modis Premier Bank taaruf ka deba bank qaim kurumge datura khidmat toge macha aliyal walib mitaka e bank ke Chief Executive Officer adi Managing Director Ara Sadawa algon stage danawalo.
To formally welcome you and introduce Maldives Premier Bank, highlighting its foundational journey and commitment to service excellence, it is my privilege to invite to the stage the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director, Ms. Ara Sadawa. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ara Sadawa.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Maldives, Dr. Mohammed Muiz, honorable ministers and members of the Cabinet, Excellencies and members of the diplomatic community, our founder and shareholder, Mr. Mohammed Ali Jana, our chairperson, Ms. Aisha Nourain Jana, members of the Board of Directors, fellow leaders from the banking and business community, our strategic partners, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to everyone. It is my great privilege to welcome you this very special evening as we formally introduce the Maldives Premier Bank, or MPB. Tonight marks much more than the inauguration of a new bank. It marks the beginning of a new institution, one that has been built with a clear ambition to contribute meaningfully to the continued growth and development of the Maldives and to connect our customers more closely to opportunities at home and around the world. MPB begins its journey at a very important time. The Maldives is an increasingly sophisticated and internationally connected economy. Our businesses trade across borders. Our tourism industry competes globally. Maldivian entrepreneurs are looking beyond our shores, and foreign investors continue to see opportunities here. And our customers increasingly expect banking to be faster, more convenient, more digital, and more connected. We believe there is a room for a bank that responds to these changing needs. Our aspiration is captured simply in our promise: premium banking, global reach. For us, premium or premier is not simply about a particular customer segment or product. It is about the standard of banking we want every MPB customer to experience: personal, responsive, efficient, and built around their needs. And global reach reflects the Maldives itself, a nation whose economy, businesses, and people are deeply connected to the world. We want MPB to help strengthen that connection. The bank we introduced tonight has been built from the ground up. We began as a pre-operational institution with a vision, a license application, and an enormous amount of work ahead of us. From there, we built the foundations of a bank: our people, governance, systems, technology, risk and compliance frameworks, operating processes, banking infrastructure, and partnerships. In May this year, we reached one of the most important milestones when Maldives Premier Bank received its full banking license. Today, MPB serves both individuals and business customers with banking solutions in both Maldivian rupiah and US dollars. We are building strong transactional and deposit banking capabilities, seamless domestic and international payment services, and solutions designed around the needs of individuals, entrepreneurs, SMEs, corporate clients, and customers with international financial requirements. We are also building MPB to be digital at its core. And later this evening, we will mark another important step in that journey as we unveil a key part of MPB's digital banking proposition. Our approach is simple: banking should become easier, faster, and more accessible, while remaining secure and personal. Because while technology changes how customers bank, we believe that relationships still matter. Customers should be able to access their bank digitally when they want convenience, and still have people who understand them when they need advice, support, or a solution. The combination of technology and personal service is central to the MPB we are building, and we are only at the beginning. Our future journey will see MPB progressively broaden its capabilities across payments, cards, financing, premium banking, corporate banking, and other solutions for individuals and businesses. We also see an important role for MPB in serving the increasingly international needs of the Maldivian economy, supporting businesses that trade across borders, investors who see opportunities in the Maldives, and customers who need a bank that can connect them more effectively to the world. But our ambition is not simply to offer more products. We want to build a different kind of banking experience, one that is more responsive, more personal, more digital, more connected, and one that continues to evolve with the needs of our customers and the economy. Our aim is to bring something distinctive and meaningful to the Maldivian banking landscape. And we know that this will not be achieved in one evening or even 1 year. A bank earns its place over time through the trust of its customers, the quality of its service, the strength of its relationships, and the contribution it makes to the economy and the communities it serves. Tonight, we celebrate how far we have come. And from here, the next chapter of our journey begins. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great privilege to introduce to you Maldives Premier Bank, Premium Banking, Global Reach. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sadawa, for your gracious presence and highlighting the foundation journey.
Thank you, Ms. Sadava.
Maldives Premier Bank के असास तका खिदमत के फ़लसफ़ा अदि बैंकिंग के पूरी मकबट्टन कुरमा कंडेली फ़ावा मैगन तमतो होगे मच्चा इकुलेविगिम वा तारफ़ी वीडियो है तिये में बेफुरना अर्मिंगेनिस्ते.
We now invite your attention to the screens for a video presentation of Maldives Premier Bank, highlighting our core pillars, service ethos, and commitment to shaping the future of banking in the Maldives. Ladies and gentlemen, the Maldives Premier Bank introduction video.
Redefining banking for the Maldives. One built on relationships, inspired by global excellence, designed around you. At Maldives Premier Bank, we believe exceptional banking begins with understanding our clients, their ambitions, their aspirations, and what matters most to them. Whether you are growing a business, building wealth, or shaping the future, we provide thoughtful expertise, tailored solutions, and a banking experience that is personal, seamless, and uncompromising. Combining trusted relationships with modern technology and international best practices, we deliver the confidence of global capability with the insight of local understanding. Because true banking is never just about transactions. It is about trust. It is about partnership. It is about helping our clients move forward with confidence. Because we are the Maldives Premier Bank. Premium banking, global reach.
अदे उम्मीद कुरांग वीडियो इंग अदि अर्गुमेंग मिरेग मी हफ्लागे इतरु मालूमात हिस्सा विगिंदिए कमा. इज़्ज़त तेरी हाज़रीन Maldives Premier Bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maldives Premier Bank.
कोम्मे मुअस्ससागे वेस बिंगलकी तसव्वुरे नंबेस ए तसव्वुरे हकीकत का बदल कोदनी हारुदना लीडरशिप साबित कमा अद कंडियले फावा सरीह मकसद तके गेहीगा मी तारीही मुनासबत फाह कुरमशा मी कामयाबी हासिल कुरुमगा एक गेक्कतुंग हितिरकम फोर कोद्दे विफरदुन्ना मुअस्ससा तका बैवरिंग अगवजन कुरमशा Maldives Premier Bank के मुस्तकबला में दो बोर्डुंग गेंगुले उम्मीद हिस्सा कोद्दे मटका ए बैंक के चेयरपर्सन अल्फालिला आयशत नूरेन जना चेयरपर्सन के तकरीर इववा देवुमा इहतरामाय को दावतरुआ.
Every institution begins with a vision, but its leadership, conviction, and clear purpose that transform that vision into reality. To mark this historic occasion, acknowledge the individuals and partners who supported this milestone event, and share the board's strategic vision for the future of Maldives Premier Bank. It is my distinct privilege to invite the chairperson of Maldives Premier Bank, Ms. Aisha Nourain Jannah, to deliver the chairperson's address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Aisha Nourain Jannah.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Maldives, Dr. Mohammed Muiz, Honourable Cabinet Ministers, Members of Parliament, Honourable Governor of the Maldives Monetary Authority, Deputy Governor and board members of the Maldives Monetary Authority, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, board colleagues at the Maldives Premier Bank, business leaders, distinguished guests, and my dear family and friends. Tonight, we gather to mark a historic milestone, the formal launch of Maldives Premier Bank, an independent, private Tier 1 licensed bank, and the very first 100% owned by a Maldivian. As non-executive chair, I have come to view the creation of this institution through the lens of a powerful metaphor drawn from our own history, the Odi, or the Maldivian traditional boat. The Odi was more than a vessel. It represented Maldivian craftsmanship, enterprise, navigation, and our ability to connect these islands to the wider world. So tonight, I would like the opportunity to frame our journey, our vision, our operations, our partnerships around the architecture of this legendary Maldivian vessel. To understand the vessel that we are launching into these waters tonight, it is to understand my own legacy, my inherited legacy in stewarding this enterprise, and the legacy that we would like to leave into the future. So if you would allow me to share a little bit of my legacy and my story, with your permission, I will first share this in Divehi, my mother tongue. Handanang annani gaggadakang umurun nuavarakang aharuge anghe kudze. Rashuge ehem mihurna ekko bolihila manzaru. Ehili boligengos katibuge kiruvalomon komme bolig bernaliaka e agalli beni komme mihaka kashikibe. Midennevi divehi tarihuga mashhur bodutaduge duwaswaru. Rashaki kolumadu kandudu. Bolihilang uluna anghen kujaki. Alornaga mamma faratu mama. Ero emihong ekirui boyaki duniyege ezamanuge darumandia baruga da fasa ekang ero erashuge mihonna ingen heneng hirnoe. Mr. Badal kollavama henga rajyege emme dekuna. Kitsar vadamuge lama silu namuna addu odi bande uluna pannu veringa thola. Kurimmidennevi rajyeng hila boyya adi atalu teren liveng huri ehem viafari muda hifageng rajyege kanduta pahana ala beruge barrutaka daturuko ulunu hunaru veri niyami verin ufeddun teri viafari veringe atola. Ei alundige bappa faratu munikafa ufang atolu, addu atolu. I share the story of a 9-year-old girl who, during the Bodutadu, or the big famine as it is known, who harvested cowrie shells along the flat of Kandudu in Taato. For every half an ali, or half a kg, of cowrie weighed, each member of her household received half a dry coconut. She had no idea what she was harvesting had become global currency that was circulating around the world. She only knew that it fed her family. That little girl was my maternal grandmother. On my father's side, our lineage traces to Huludu and Nadu Atoll, an island of master carpenters and navigators who engineered the legendary Addu vessels built to withstand deep ocean swells. They loaded those vessels with cowrie and dried fish and other goods available locally, and they continued to trade across the oceans. This intergenerational spirit from both sides of my family, one harvesting the currency of its time, the other building vessels, carries into today's legacy and the inherited legacy. And that is what has brought this financial vessel to life today. But no ship is built or sailed alone. To the shareholder and founder of this bank, my father, thank you for your pioneering courage. Your lifetime of dedication laid the foundation of trust on which we stand today, and that we can carry on this legacy together with all of us in the room here today. To my mother, sitting here tonight, thank you for your unconditional strength and for anchoring our family. To my little brother and my little sister, as the eldest of 3, standing here tonight fills me with enormous pride of what we can do as the next generation and the responsibility we have to steward into the future. And to our extended family, my grandmother, who is here, and the only living grandparent I have, to all of the personal friends who held me up through sleepless nights, through all the grueling work, Thank you. This milestone belongs to you as well. A vessel, however, is only as strong as the people entrusted to navigate it. And I thank the Board of Directors of Maldives Premier Bank who are here with us tonight, as well as those that couldn't make it, who not only have trusted us in joining this endeavour, but also trust me to be your chair as well. Thank you. Building a Tier 1 financial institution from the ground up requires absolute precision, integrity, and dedication. It hasn't been easy to get to this point today. When we received the initial approval from the Maldives Monetary Authority in May 2025, that was when the real construction began, but there was work done beforehand as well. What followed after the pre-approval was a relentless 12-month marathon of operational readiness. We engineered a secure digital-first infrastructure. We integrated now into the central banking networks, onboarded our wonderful international partners, correspondent banks, connected Maldivian enterprise, hopefully going into the future from tonight, into global financial flows. Following our soft opening and after passing every rigorous regulatory assessment, we are now fully primed to welcome you into our systems, into taking this vessel forward to be connected globally, as well as bringing in those who want to invest into our future together. To our executive team, our dedicated staff, our regulators and everyone who worked behind the scenes to make this seamless, this is the demonstration of what can be done in the small island country so seamlessly, with so much dedication, but also really punching above our weight. So what comes next is a question we might answer. Where are we sailing? As we continue to imagine this venture into the future, a lot of people internationally have asked me, what is your population? And I say, yes, we are a small population, but we are mighty in our economy. We have 2.4 million tourists that we have approximately gotten last year, and more to come. We have billions of dollars of investment that is flowing not only to the tourism industry, but also the diversifying economy. And we stand on the shoulders of all of those business leaders, all the administrations that have come before us, and the vision that we have in front of us today as well. So it is to ensure that we are sophisticated, connected, that we do not listen to the doubters, and we continue in the spirit of who we are as Maldivians. We want to actively channel capital into local infrastructure, into local businesses, to invite those who are interested into building this future, into really being a hub here, into premier banking as well. The navigation into excellence also means recognizing the fleet around you. I know that most of my colleagues from the financial sector are here in the room today. I thank you for all you have done as we've come up to this space, and invite you to say, we as Maldives Premier Bank, we're not sailing alone, we sail with you. This today is to demonstrate the strength and collaboration in the financial sector, and we are here to contribute broadly to the Maldivian financial sector. We deeply value and will actively seek collaboration with our peers, our regulators, and our fellow financial institutions. Because if we navigate these waters together, the economic landscape of this small nation is going to grow much, much larger. We also have designed this to be really adapting to global shifting tides. Many of the discussions I've had internationally with our partners, a lot of my international friends always consider what is the vulnerability that we have. So how do we are answering this question collaboratively, how do we weather these financial storms? How do we weather the ever-changing world and safely carry our wealth and share that with each other securely and with the ambitions of this nation? Your Excellency, Mr. President, your presence here tonight really underscores a shared ambition for national progress and a stronger, more collaborative financial future for the country. Thank you. The vessel has been engineered. We have the blueprint, we have our inheritance, we have our crew, we have the leaders and the vision. So now it is time to raise the sails. We invite you to join us in this endeavor, to work collaboratively. We're very, very pleased to announce that we are seamlessly connected into the global systems, thanks to our partners and the dedicated effort of our team. Today we launch a vessel into our economic waters together. So let us sail towards a prosperous future, not only for us, all of us in the room together, but those of us that may not be in the room, and really give that prosperity to those of us that may not have been able to access it to today. Thank you very much for your presence here today. It means a lot to me, to our family, to our team, to the board as well. This is only the beginning, and I invite you to sail with us together. Thank you very much.
Chairperson Noorain, there was a small girl's dream and then turning into a family's dream and then becoming it a vision. When she met me last night, she was so excited about this, and she herself briefed us on what really this is. Congratulations, and also to your beloved mother and father.
Thank you, Ms. Noorain Jinnah, Chairperson of Maldives Premier Bank, for those inspiring remarks and for sharing the vision of Maldives Premier Bank.
Ade Mihai Sabung dengoti Maldives Monetary Authority ge Governor Ahmad Munawwar, Governor ge tagrir ivavadevung.
It is my distinctive privilege to invite the Governor of the Maldives Monetary Authority, Mr. Ahmad Munawwar, to deliver the Governor's address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ahmad Munawwar.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin. Khatim al-Anbiya wa Rasulin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. His Excellency, the President of the Maldives, Dr. Mohammed Muiz, Honorable Ministers, shareholders of the Maldives Premier Bank, Chairperson of the Maldives Premier Bank, CEO and the Managing Director, Board of Members, members of the management, staff of the Maldives Premier Bank, Head of banks and other financial institutions, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening to you all. It's a great pleasure to join you this evening to mark the official launch of the Maldives Premier Bank. While Maldives Premier Bank commenced operation a few months ago, today marks another important milestone as the bank expands its presence, introduces a broader range of services, particularly in the new digital offerings. I congratulate the board, the management, and the entire team of the Maldives Premier Bank on reaching this important milestone. I would also like to send sincere appreciation to the President for honoring this special occasion. Your presence here shows the importance you give to our financial sector and the development. Thank you very much, Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Maldives Monetary Authority, one of our key priorities is to expand and deepen the financial sector and significantly increase its contribution to the Maldivian economy. Our strategic objective is very clear: to double the contribution of the financial sector, which is right now at 6% to 12%. There's a significant potential to achieve this. If you look at our banking sector number itself, it is very highly profitable. To just give an example, in 2025 alone, the bank recorded a profit before tax of 5.5 billion rupiah, or about $356 million. Bank contributed approximately 737 million rupiah, or about $48 million in bank income tax alone, accounting for around 14% of the total income tax collection for the year. And if you look at the tourism sector numbers alone, the banking sector has lent, which is outstanding about $13 billion, which is close to $800 million. If we just make a simple estimate of our 180 resorts, it would be over $5 billion. Meaning, right now, our domestic banking sector is only accounting for less than 16%, which is very small. When we are talking about the most prestige tourism destination, our banking sector shares, for me, this is very insignificant, very small. These figures demonstrates the strength of the sector. At the same time, they also demonstrates a huge potential and opportunity. Last year alone, approximately 11% or about $38 million of the banking sector profits were remitted. Meaning, if you look at over the last 5 years, $200 million were remitted. This is one of the reasons why we want to see more stronger, well-governed local banks in the Maldives. And MMA is moving with the legislative changes to encourage more local investors by changing our Banking Act and also introducing new Islamic Finance Act. And I would like to thank His Excellency the President and the government for supporting us in these initiatives. I encourage more Maldivians to invest in this sector so that a greater share of the benefits generated in the tourism sector, at the same time in the financial sector, can be retained within our economy, supporting investments, creating employment, and building domestic financial capacity. Maldives Premier Bank is a positive initiative in exactly this direction. We want to see stronger local institutions grow alongside international banks, contribute to a more competitive and diversified financial system. Ladies and gentlemen, our vision at the Maldives Monetary Authority is also about the people. Today, around 40% of the management position in the banking sector is held by the foreigners. Our vision is to reduce this to 20% over the last 5 years, in the next 5 years, meaning we want to see 80% of Maldivians in the management positions. To do this, we need to create the conditions for more Maldivians, particularly the youngsters, to build careers, ultimately take leadership positions in the financial sector. This requires deliberate investments in the professional and technical capacity. It is precisely for this reason that MMA recently entered into an agreement with Asian Institute of Chartered Bankers, AICB, to strengthen the professional development within our financial sector. We also intend to establish a human capacity development fund next year by either having a percentage of the bank's profits or a percentage of the expenses in the employee from the banking sector, to further invest in developing the skills and the experts in the financial sector we require. Ladies and gentlemen, we must recognize that the world around us is changing very rapidly. Banking is no longer only about branches, deposits, or traditional lending. Technology is transforming the financial services, and artificial intelligence, digital banking, new payment technologies are changing how institutions operate, how customers expect to be served. Our thinking must also evolve in the same time. We need to develop Maldivians with strong technical, digital, and financial capacity who can lead this transformation. Our efforts have already produced encouraging results, but there is much more need to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, digital transformation is essential to this journey, and which is in line with the government's initiative of the Maldives 2.0. For geography dispersed countries such as Maldives, digital finance services allow us to overcome barriers of distance, extend quality financial services throughout the country. At the same time, we must strengthen our international connectivity. We need faster, more efficient, more accessible cross-border payment solutions that connect Maldivians, individuals, businesses within the global economy. This is why I'm particularly pleased to see Maldives Premier Bank placing digital services at the center of its offering. At the same time, innovation must also be accompanied by responsibility. As the banking becomes increasingly digital and interconnected, cybersecurity, operational resilience, consumer protection, and the safety of our customer funds must remain fundamental priorities. Trust remains at the heart of banking. To the staff of the Maldives Premier Bank, many of whom are beginning a new journey with this institution, I would like to emphasize that you have an important role in this broader transformation. Technology, capital, and products are important, but institution is ultimately defined by the people. The standards you uphold, the decisions you make, and the way you serve your customers will shape the reputation of this bank for many years to come. I hope the Maldives Premier Bank will continue to innovate, broaden its services, develop Maldivian talents, and contribute meaningfully to the vision of a larger, stronger, more competitive, internationally connected Maldivian financial sector. Before I conclude, I would like to recognize Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah for his contribution and the vision in establishing the Maldives Premier Bank. I also like to congratulate the chairperson, the CEO, and the managing director, and the board, and the management, and for the entire staff for the work that has gone into reaching this milestone in such a short period of time. I wish Maldives Premier Bank every success in its journey ahead with the premium banking services reaching customers around the globe. I'm looking forward to see the bank contribute not only to the greater competition and innovation, but also to contribute to the growth of our financial sector and the development of our people and the wider Maldivian economy. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
That's our very enterprising Governor, Maldives Monetary Authority. Shukriya, Ahmed Munawar.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed Munawar, Governor of Maldives Monetary Authority, for your insightful remarks and for highlighting the significance of today's event.
इज्जतेरी हाजिरीन मी फुर्सत का बैन अल-अक़वामी बैंक इन दायरागे मुहिम तजरिबात का नजरियात को हिस्सा को देवमा अलगन मेंगे देंगोई मेहमान मी बनी तैयार बेफा Connecting Maldives to the world, building the future of banking. Mi maulu ang alirwala waqful dakwani. Ingres Vilatge Crown Agents Bank Group ke CEO Mr. Neeraj Kapoor.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker brings an international banking perspective to an evening that celebrates both Maldivian ambition and global connectivity. Speaking on connecting Maldives to the world, building the future of banking, please join me in welcoming Mr. Neeraj Kapoor, Group CEO of Crown Agents Bank, United Kingdom, to deliver tonight's keynote address.
Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Muiz, President of the Republic of Maldives, the Honourable Ministers, the Honourable Governor and Deputy Governor of the Maldives Monetary Authority, Mr. Mohammed Ali Jinnah, Founder and Shareholder of Maldives Premier Bank, Chairperson, Ms. Nurain Jinnah, Chief Executive, Ms. Ara Sadava. Apologies for my pronunciations. Maldives Premier Bank Chairperson and the Chief Executive, distinguished members of the board, excellencies, honoured guests, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. It is a rare privilege to stand here tonight in Male at the birth of a new bank. Banks are launched more often than nations, but far less often than other businesses. And for good reason. A bank is not merely a business, it is a promise. A promise that savings will be safe, that trade will be honoured, that a family on the most distant atoll can participate in the economy of the world. Tonight, the Maldives makes that promise, and I congratulate everyone who has brought Maldives Premier Bank to this moment. Mr. President, I want to begin with a confession. Before I was a banker, I was a pilot in the British Royal Air Force. What I can tell you is that pilots learn one lesson before all others. You do not judge the strategic value of a country by its size. You judge it by its position, and when you look at the Maldives from altitude, 1,000 islands set across the great sea lanes of the Indian Ocean, midway between the markets of Africa, the Gulf, and Asia, you do not see a small country, you see a crossroads. You see a nation that the Almighty built for connection. That is the subject I've been asked to speak on tonight. Connecting the Maldives to the world and building the future of banking. Let me offer you 3 thoughts. The first is this: connection is the oldest Maldivian tradition. Long before correspondent banking, Maldivian cowrie shells were currency across 3 continents, traded from West Africa to China. This nation was a major center in the world's first global payments network. So when we speak of connecting the Maldives to the international financial system to become a leading player, we are not describing an ambition. We're describing a restoration. But we must be honest about the modern challenge. Across the world, smaller and island economies have watched global banks retreat. Correspondent relationships withdrawn, not because of any failing in these countries, but because distant institutions decided the effort of understanding them was not worth the reward. At Crown Agents Bank, we have spent nearly 200 years taking the opposite view. We connect over 700 currencies, corridors across frontier and emerging markets, because we believe a payment from Mali should move as surely as a payment from London or New York. The lesson of our history is simple. The markets others call difficult are simply the markets others have not taken the trouble to know. The Maldives deserves partners who take that trouble, and it deserves institutions of its own, which brings me to Maldives Premier Bank. My second thought: the future of banking will not be imported. It will be built at home to world-leading standards. The strongest financial systems are not those that borrow their infrastructure from abroad. They are those that build domestic institutions robust enough to be trusted globally. Banks that meet the world's standards on governance, on compliance, on transparency, and can therefore look any counterparty in the eye. That is what earns correspondent relationships. That is what draws investment. In banking, trust is only the currency that never devalues. And the Maldives has as advantages many larger economies would envy. A young, digitally fluent population, a tourism economy that already transacts with the entire world every single day, a central bank and governor, I pay tribute to the Maldives Monetary Authority, that understands both discipline of stability and the necessity of innovation. These are the raw materials of a modern financial center. What the future asks of banks everywhere is changing. Money is becoming instant, digital, and borderless. Payments that once took days will settle in fractions of a second. New forms of digital value are emerging, and the nations that thrive will be those that embrace innovation within strong regulation, not innovation instead of regulation. The Maldives is well placed to be among them, small enough to move quickly, serious enough to move safely, with an already strong banking sector. My third thought is about people, because that is what all of this is for. In a few minutes, His Excellency the President will launch Maldives Premier Bank's mobile bank application. I would ask you not to see that as a product launch. See it as an act of national infrastructure. In a nation of nearly 1,200 islands, a branch network can never reach every citizen, but a smartphone can. The fisherman selling his catch, the guest house owner on a distant atoll, the student sending money home, the smaller trader importing goods, each of them tonight moves closer to the center of the economy. That is what building the future of banking actually means. It's not about marble headquarters, not complexity for its own sake. It means distance no longer determines opportunity. I've spent my career in banking across Africa, Asia, and the Gulf, and I've learned that financial inclusion is not a charity. It is a strategy. Every citizen brought into the formal economy makes the whole economy stronger, more resilient, and more attractive to the world. A bank that serves the last island serves the nation best. So, Your Excellency, Mr. President, under your leadership, the Maldives has set out a vision of economic self-reliance and diversification, of a nation that does not merely receive the world as a guest, but engages the world as a partner. Your strong domestic banking sector is the foundation of that vision. No country in history has achieved lasting prosperity without one. To Mr. Jinnah, whose vision and patriotism founded this institution, to the chairperson, the chief executive, and the whole Maldives Premier Bank team, you are taking on one of the hardest and noblest tasks in commerce, building trust from the first day. There will be difficult moments, there always are, but you begin with goodwill of a nation, the confidence of your regulator, and I can say tonight, the friendship of the international banking community. Crown Agents Bank will be walking alongside you. As a pilot, I will tell you the moment that matters most is not the takeoff and not the landing. It is the navigation in between, the 1,000 small disciplined judgments that keep you on course. Tonight is Maldives Premier Bank's takeoff, and it is a magnificent one. The judgment comes next. I have every confidence you will navigate well. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Governor, ladies and gentlemen, the Maldives has always been connected to the world by sea. Tonight, it strengthens its connection to the world through banking. It is our honor to witness this today. I conclude with my congratulations to Maldives Premier Bank.
Thank you, Mr. Neeraj Kapoor, for your gracious presence, for your valuable insights and thoughts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kapoor.
इज्जतरी मेहमानुन्ना हाजिरीन ಮಿರೆಗೆ ಮಿ ರಸ್ಮಿಯಾತ್ಗೆ ಮೆ ತಾರೀಖಿ ಮುಹಿಮ್ಮು ವಗುತ್ಮಿವನಿ ಅಳುಗುಮೆನ್ನ ಬದ್ದಲ್ ಕೊಫ್ಫ ಮೋಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಬೊಡು ಅಮಾಸಕಿ ಜಮಾನಿ ಫಸೇಹ ಅದಿ ದುನಿಯಾ ಗುಳಿಫಾವಾ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಖಿದ್ಮತ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ಕಸ್ಟಮರನ್ನ ಫೋರ್ ಕೊದ್ದಿನು ಮಿರೆಕಿ ಎ ವೌದ್ ಫುದ್ದುಮಟ್ಟಕ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ವಸೀಲತ ರಸ್ಮಿ ಕೊಂ ಇಫ್ತಿತಾಹ್ ಕುರವಿಗೆನ್ ದಾಣೇರೆ ಕುರಿಯದ್ದೆಂಗ್ ಒತಿ ಮೋಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ MPB ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಖಿದ್ಮೆ ರಸ್ಮಿ ಕೊ ಇಫ್ತಿತಾಹ್ ಕುರು.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at the defining moment of this evening. At the core of Maldives Premier Bank is a commitment to delivering modern, seamless, and globally connected banking experiences. Tonight, we formally launch the digital platforms designed to bring that promise to life. It is now our utmost honor to invite His Excellency, President Dr. Mohammed Muiz, to officially launch MPB digital platforms.
Maldives Premier Bank, built digital. Today, MPB Plus and Internet Banking go live. 2 channels delivering one connected banking experience. Onboard digitally through MPB Plus with secure identity verification designed to make getting started simpler. Bank wherever you are through mobile or web. View your accounts, download statements and transfer funds with confidence. Start a cardless withdrawal in MPB Plus and complete it securely at any MPB ATM. Need assistance? Ask Jazz, MPB's digital assistant, for quick guidance whenever you need it. This is only the beginning. Maldives Premier Bank, built digital. Premium banking, global reach.
Bavarinan Airway Handani Fila Havalkol Divmataka Maldis Premier Bank Chairperson Alfala Aishat Nuren Jana Stage of Vadatma Adabir Kamat Tawataru.
Ladies and gentlemen, establishing an institution of this magnitude is never achieved alone. Maldives Premier Bank would like to formally recognize the key partners and organizations whose expertise, dedication, and collaboration made this milestone possible. To present the commemorative partnership plaques, may I invite the chairperson of Maldives Premier Bank, Ms. Aisha Nurain Jinnah, to the stage.
Crown Agents Bank, Mr. Neeraj Kapoor. Finastra, Mr. Malkit Chana. LTM, Mr. Hemel Jayasinha. Temenos, Mr. Jejana Pozge. Bank in Box, Bassam Mahmoud.
Metal Maldives, Hassan Mohammed. Ministry of Homeland Security, Labor and Technology, State Minister. Maldives Digital Service, Dr. Mohammed Kinanath. Ministry of Economic Development, Transport and Trade, Honorable Mohammed Saeed. Maldives Immigration, Ahmed Fasih.
शुक्रिया हदानी फिला हासिल करबी एमहा बेफलुम तारीखी ग्रुप फोटो एकंग एमरी स्टेज वडान दे मंगेदे.
May I request all plaque recipients to kindly return to the stage for a commemorative group photo.
शुक्रिया इज्जत तरी हाजिरिंग Maldives Premier Bank के नमगा अलगुन मेंगे हुरिहा बैवरिंग मिदतुरगा फोर को देवी फन्नी यही तरीकमा देवी साबित कमावे देवी अगुहरी इबारुमा इखलास तेरी शुक्रदानवा.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Maldives Premier Bank, our sincere appreciation to each of our partners for your commitment and invaluable contributions in this journey.
मी जलसा निमवा देवी गतुम बस फुल विवा देवीमा तेमेनोस के फरातुम बडानवी जिजाना पोज़गेया इhtiraamai ku दावतारवा.
It is my pleasure to invite Ms. Jajana Pozge from Temenos to deliver the closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Jajana Pozge.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Maldives, honorable ministers and members of the Cabinet, Excellencies and members of the diplomatic community, Mr. Mohamed Ali Jannah, founder of Maldives Premier Bank, Ms. Ayesha Nuran Jannah, chairperson, members of the board, business leaders, strategic partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It is a real pleasure to stand in front of you tonight. Sorry, it is just very, very special moment because this has been something that we've been on the journey for a few months, so just give me a second. It is a real pleasure to stand before you today on behalf of the partners who have had the honor of supporting the launch of Maldives Premier Bank. Today, you've heard about the new bank, but for the partners that has been on the journey supporting the launch of Maldives Premier Bank, this is about something much bigger. It is about what happens when through vision and leadership, trust and execution come together around a bigger purpose. In just 52 days, this bank became operational with core banking, with payments, with digital banking, ATMs, and many other capabilities that the partners in the room tonight support. And this is exceptional achievement by global standards. It's most likely unheard of globally. But what impressed us the most was not the speed, it was really the collaboration behind it. At Temenos, we often say that core banking is at the heart of the bank, and we are proud of the responsibility that comes with supporting more than 3,000 banks globally. We're proud of our technology, and people often talk about technology and products and platforms, but every banker in the room knows that successful banks are not built by one product or organization alone. They're built by people, by trust, and by partnerships. And throughout this journey, that ecosystem worked as one team aligned behind a shared vision. What stood out to all of us was the clarity of that vision, the progressiveness of the bank, and the strong direction, commitment, support, and collaboration from the investors and the bank's executive team. The technology is proven, the ecosystem is strong, and the bank is operational. We just saw it a few minutes ago. Most importantly, the leadership, the culture, the ambition behind that institutions gives us tremendous confidence in its future. And as a guest in this beautiful country, it has been a privilege to contribute in some small way to a project that places Maldives at the forefront of innovation and progress in financial services. On behalf of all partners, congratulations to Mr. Jana, Ms. Jana, Ms. Ara, and the entire bank for the launch. Thank you for your trust, for your partnership, and for the opportunity to be part of this remarkable journey. We wish you all the success. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this evening. I'm sure your gracious presence made this evening more beautiful, and especially to the audience watching across the islands, thank you very much for being with us. And I'm sure you all must be waiting for refreshments. It's very finely arranged.
As we switch languages, I'll say something in the way. Mihai sahabu mi hafla nimukangai. Ti huria befrong almenaki ti hede kola vibagut kola war boda shukur danama. Adi almenaki dura agatu mi hafla. Adi mi tarihi hafla belle vi huria befrong neves war hunu marhaba danama. Wadanti pe vi huria befrong ya sharafuga tayar kurifawa bille mir kolma dawataruan. Shukriya.
Assalamu alaikum.